So hello everyone, in this video we are learning about some transformation classes. So how can we add that? Let me just change the title as well. So in the earlier video we saw how we can add flexbox classes. Similarly, we can add some transformation classes just like this scale class, which can increase the height or the scaling of an element. Scaling means height and width basically. So it will increase that to some extent or sometimes you can say. So if I add this scale 0, then it will not scale that, it will remain it like this, transform scale 0. If I add scale 50, then it will increase the height and width 0.5 times. So this is it actually. So if I add it here, for example in this div, so if I add scale 50, then it will increase the height and width by 50. Okay, so it is 0.50 or zero point 0.5, which means it will decrease that because originally the element is 1, or this the default height and width is considered as 1 scale, and if we decrease that from 1 to less than 1, then that will make the thing smaller or make the element smaller. And if we increase that from by or like increase that from 1, then it will make the element from the original size to more than that. So for example, the original size is 20%, so it will increase it will half that size, so it will be 10% in that case. So if I add it 150, then it will increase that to 1.5 times. Now you can see that it is 1.5 times increased. So what is the 1.5 times of this width? 20%. It will be 60% of height and width basically, or the original item. So this is actually the scale. You can add anything you want. If you want only the horizontal axis or the width to be increased or decreased, then you can specify X here. So only the width will be increased, not the height. But if you want the height to be increased, then you can add Y here. Otherwise it will take all of that in consider. Like if you don't specify X and Y, then it will consider both of that. The height and width will be equally increased or decreased. But if you want the height only, then you will add Y here, and if you want the width only, then you will add X here. So this is actually the scale classes. You can explore all these classes by writing yourself. Then there is a rotate class. Then it will only rotate, as the name suggests, it will only rotate the element. So we can add rotate, and then there is the degree there. You can specify the degree, that how much you want to increase that. For example, if I want to let me just make it to the original position. If I add rotate 45, then it will rotate that element in 45 degree. So you can see that it is rotated by 45 degree. Similarly, I can make it to 90, so it will be rotated by 90 degree. You can see that. So this is actually we add these classes. If you want that behavior to be anti-clockwise, so you can add in like this. Just in the start, you have to add this negative symbol. So this is actually we add. For example, if I add it to let's say when we were adding 45, so it was rotating in the right direction. So if I add minus here, then it will rotate to the left direction, or to the left side actually. So this is actually we add rotate, and similarly we have the arbitrary values and hover and other like states we can add. So this is actually we can add by custom values. For example, if you want the 17-degree rotation, then you can add in the square brackets by using arbitrary values. So we have talked about this, so you know that better, I know. Then there is a translate, which moves the element to any direction you want. So this is actually for moving the element to the vertical axis or to the horizontal axis. So if you want the element to be moved to the horizontal axis, then you can add this translate X, and then that will move to the right direction or to the right side. And if you want that to be in, vertically, so you can add Y here. So you can see that it is adding some classes. We just need to use them, and then that will be applied to this element. So right now just leave this out, so I can remove this. So if I want vertically it to be moved a little bit, so I can add Y here, and then I can specify 5 for adding. I think the 5 was there. Yeah, 5 is there. So it will actually 1.5 times move it, or like 1.5 rem it will move to the downwards. You can see that this element is a little bit upper than this. Similarly, I can increase that number if I want. So for example, I can increase that to 12, then that will move to the 12 points, or like whatever they have specified for 12. So they have specified 3 rem for the 12 if we add. So it was like this. So similarly, we can add our own values if I want. So I can do that way as well. So if I want 5 rem, so I can add 5 rem here. That will be applied also. You can see that. So this is for adding the vertical axis, and similarly you can add for X if you want. So it will move towards the X axis. You can see that it is a little bit closer than these elements. Similarly, we can add the negative values as well. So adding negative values is just the same as rotate. You just need to add negative in the starting of the class, then that will be implemented actually. Then there is arbitrary values, as we told you, like just now I told you that how you can add. This is for that. Skew is for actually skewing the element, which is kind of a distorted element. You can see that. So it is actually distorting the element to like this. So it is skew y0, y direction, and then there is y3, which means we are pulling that element downwards and stretching that element downwards, and then it is increased and increased. So you can see that how it is distorted. We just need to add this element, and then that will be distorted. So these classes are for that. So if you want the vertical skewing, then you can add this class, and if you want horizontal skewing like this from the left side and from the right side, then that will be for X. Like you just have to add skew X and then the numbers which is specified. So you can see that all these classes are actually there. I can specify here and show you that as well. So I can add, for example, skew X of 5 rem. So if I specify that, so actually it will be distorted a little bit. Let's distort it from the Y direction and add it 5 here. Maybe 5 is there. No, it's not there, I think. So 6 is there. Let's add 6 here. So it is actually distorting, but we can't see that because it is not an image. So if we add this in an image, that will make some like points, so we can actually differentiate from the other elements. So we're not getting that if it is distorted or not, or if it is stretched or not. So you can implement that in an image, then that will work, and you can apply that. So basically it will stretch the element to vertical or to the horizontal axis. Similarly, we can add negative values by adding minus here. So if you want into the different direction, so you can do that. And then there is our custom values we can specify in the arbitrary values, just like this. So it is for the all the other ones as well. Then there is transform origin classes. What this does is it tells the transformation properties which we add here. For example, rotate, we when we rotate elements, so how should it be rotated, like how, from which point it should start rotating the element, which should be the origin point. So if we add origin center here, so it will take this middle center as the point of rotation. So it will consider this one as the origin, and then it will rotate that from that direction. But if we add origin top left, so it will actually consider this one as the origin, and then it will start rotating that element to from that direction or from that origin. And similarly it goes for this origin bottom. If we add this in the bottom, then the origin will be from here, and it will rotate the element from that direction, not from the center. So this is actually the difference. So if I show you the difference like this in here, maybe the image should be there, that should work well. So if I just add rotate 45, you can see that it is rotating from the center. But suppose if I add origin top left, then that will rotate from the top left direction to the 45-degree. So you can see that it is a little bit changed. So the top left corner was here, not in the center. That's why it when we rotated 45 degrees, so it goes to the left direction more. If we try to choose from the center, then it goes to the right left direction lesser than the top left corner. So this is actually we can add transform origin to. And if I add top right here, so it will go in the left direction less than that from the origin as well. Like if I add top right, so it will consider from here, like from here it will actually rotate that element to the 45 degrees. So it is here, it is going towards that. So this is actually we meant when we add transform origin properties or these classes. So these are the classes. You can set the origin for that element from any direction. I told you that how it works, and it is having also this great example. And if you add that to any image, that will also make great difference. And similarly in this also I can specify my own origin that I want from the 33 percent, and then there is 75%, which means I want from the left direction I want 33%, and from the vertical direction I want this one. So this is actually for specifying our own values or own transform origin. We can do that. So this is it for this video. We talked about transform origin. I hope you understood. If you have some doubts, you can comment down and we'll definitely solve that. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.